Osiris.
We're mass communicating. We're mass communicating. Mass communicating.
Back to Touchdowns All Day. I am your host, Max Dawson. I've got a special episode for you today. Something quite unusual, something we've never done here before. It's a documentary of sorts, an audio documentary in which I'm going to take you into the studio with John, Joey, and Aaron as they worked on the song that would become Under Your Spell. We're going to hear lots of versions of this song, loops, rough demos, more polished demos. I'm even going to give you a sneak preview, very brief one, of the album version of this song. In between, we're going to listen to lots of live Disco Biscuits. We're going to put together all the pieces and understand a little bit better how John, Joey, Aaron, the rest of the guys collaborate on the songs that they've been churning out over the last few years. A lot of exciting things happening in the world of the Disco Biscuits, even though the band is off the road for the next few months. We just had the announcement of TDB 30, the band's 30th anniversary, an amazing tour taking them around the Northeast, some very exciting venues. We've got tractor beam shows, we've got multiple night stands, and of course, Camp Home Again, www.discobiscuits.com/shows for all the info. Tickets on sale now. Make sure to check out the VIP. So as I mentioned, in this episode, we're going to go into the studio. And before we do, just a little warning, heads up / apology. The audio quality here is going to be all over the place. It's not going to be our typical studio quality, polished final product that you've come to expect from us at Touchdowns All Day. But I figured that the immediacy and the access that we're able to offer you in this episode more than makes up for the admittedly crappy audio at times. So please come with me as I step into the studio with the Disco Biscuits as they work on one of their newest songs, Under Your Spell. All right, thanks, man. Happy New Year. Yeah, be safe. It is January 2nd, 2025, and I am out in the Philadelphia suburbs, just getting out of my Lyft, headed into the studio at Barber's house where John, Joey, and Aaron are going to be working on a new song. But the story of this song actually starts a few months earlier, and it starts with a DM.
Joey, I know you're partying at Pine Creek, but the boys made a legitimate house banger at 14 minutes and 30 seconds, hot air balloon, 9-7 at the Mish.
You're hearing the voice of longtime Biscuits fan, William Johnston.
I remember that show in particular. I was not there. I was on fantasy tour with a bunch of other people, and we were all kind of like sitting in our hands, kind of antsy because there was no Wi-Fi, no stream or anything. At some point, you found Service Max and were able to tell us what they played in the first set. So afterwards, I was really excited to get into it. So that particular segment, 14 minutes and 30 seconds at the hot air balloon, I just kind of thought it was the perfect jam that kind of just lends themselves to their style that they've captured these past couple years. I remember thinking it was something you'd hear maybe at like Ultra or something. I remember posting in Biscuits Family on Facebook that it was the type of jam that, you know, if you walked into a nightclub and heard it, you would not be surprised. And this is a 4-piece band doing this, which is just amazing. So I remember just thinking there's got to be something here. There's got to be some sort of song. I'm going to send it to Joey and just see if anything sticks. And it did. Joey responded when I sent him this track and pretty much said he'll give it a listen. He said, I'll give it a good listen. Months later, the day before Christmas, he texted back and he goes, bro, I just wrote the sickest song around 9/7 Hot Air Balloon from the Mish.
I got a similar text from Joey a few days earlier on December 23rd. And along with that text, I received a file labeled Taking Sides.
All right, we're gonna go full verse 1, chorus, full verse 2, chorus. It gets more fun every time I go through it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. On a dark street, the outskirts of town, I bumble around and I'm flirting with disaster. 3 sheets to the wind that's blowing harder than hell. And then our eyes meet. My hand lowers down, I hear no sound, and suddenly see what I'm after. Red cheeks for the win, and now I'm buying to sell. I'm not sure where I am. I'm not sure what you're going through. But if we pick a side, I'm gonna side with you. I'm not sure where it ends. I'm not sure where we're going to. But if we're taking a ride, I'm gonna ride with you. Stopped at my feet as I stand in your way. Seems like a good day that we write another chapter. You ask where I've been, say I'm not looking that well. Get in the back seat and leave your troubles at bay. They melting away as we drive a little faster. The fire within has got me under your spell. I'm not sure where I am. I'm not sure what you're going through. But if we pick a side, I'm gonna side with you. I'm not sure where this ends. I'm not sure where we're going to. But if we're taking a ride, I'm gonna ride with you.
I was traveling that day, so I was a little bit slow to respond. And by the time I got around to listening to Joey's demo, I had a new version. And I also had a message from Joey saying, quote, "I've never felt this good about a demo before," end quote. Over the course of the next few days, Joey kept working on the demo for this track, and the song's title evolved, and the song did as well. It was now being called Under Your Spell, and the shape was starting to come together. The themes were starting to come together, and the lyrics were refining themselves. I asked Joey to explain to me the inspiration for this song, and also to place it within the context of his and Barber's broader songwriting collaboration.
When it comes to figuring out what to write, like a lot of times, like I'll just start listening to the jam, I'll start humming melodies, maybe come up with a line that I like or a couple lines that I like, and then that sort of inspires an idea. And I'm a storyteller by nature. I'm not a poet. In fact, I just wrote my first poem ever, but I am by my very nature. I like stories. I like storytelling. The space opera was a story, and many of the songs we've written since the space opera start with some storyline in them. After the space opera, right, I almost just wanted to write the sequel to the space opera because I have a story in my head and I've never written a song that didn't have to do with the space opera. So I didn't even know if I was going to be able to come up with song lyrics that did have to do with space opera. John was really adamant that we write a bunch of songs that had nothing to do with the rock opera. When you're writing lyrics for somebody else to sing, it's really important that the singer feels like they relate to the lyrics. You know, if I wrote something that was just this abstract poetry, John isn't going to really connect with it because it's not sort of his abstract poetry. If you're singing what you wrote, and you wrote apple butter toast is nice, or you wrote 3-3 fly high, no wind too slow, you wrote them, you're singing them, you know what you meant. It doesn't necessarily have to be like, I see a story and now you see that story, and so you sing and we see the exact same thing. But it's important that whatever I write or we write together, he feels something, right? It doesn't have to be the exact same thing I see, but it has to be something that he can feel like is grounded in reality between, you know, some sort of reality, whether it's the reality of the scene or the reality of the characters, or he feels like this makes sense. And when I sing it, I feel like these lyrics, you know, I could have written them. When it comes to stories, right? Like, you know, I also try not to pull too much from my personal life because John doesn't really want to sing about my life, right? Like, so I try to find universal themes, right? You know, a story about love at the end of the world, or a story about, you know, a prisoner trying to seduce you know, it doesn't matter. It's not me trying to seduce the security guard. It's not John trying to, it's a character, right? Now, Under Your Spell is a little bit different in that it is grounded in a real story of mine.
It was January 2000. I was a senior in high school. I'm in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and in my high school there was a class called Model United Nations. What was unique about my particular class is that you did the first semester taking the class, and then in January our whole class got to go to an international UN conference in The Hague, which is a city in the Netherlands about 2 hours from Amsterdam. And our teacher, who was also my hockey coach, had been running this class for years, and he became really good friends with the teacher in The Hague. And so instead of staying in hotels when we went over there, he had arranged for all of us to stay with host families of students that were local there. And so my host brother, his name was Dirk, and me and my friend Chris, we were both hosts. We were both staying together with Dirk. And Dirk lived in a suburb of The Hague. The way it would work is we would wake up in the morning, get in our suits, we'd take a bike to the bus stop, we would take a bus stop into the city. Then after the conference was over during the day, we'd go back to the host family, we'd eat dinner, and then we would go out and we would get absolutely hammered. I mean, I was 17. I'd never been to a bar before or smoked any kind of weed that wasn't swag. And here we are, and like we're at not only the bar, but the bar is packed with students from all over the world, right? So here I am from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and I'm at a bar in Holland with girls from Norway and girls from Australia, and we're dancing and we're drinking and we're smoking really good weed all night long. And then we do it again. We wake up the next morning, we go in, we come home, we have dinner, we go out, and we rinse and repeat. Thursday's the last day. So Wednesday's kind of like our last night. And so we get up, we go to the bus stop, we go into the city, we go to the conference, but then we decide as a class, we're gonna all have dinner in The Hague. So we never actually go back to the house. And then from dinner, we just all go right out to the bar, like in our ill-fitting suits, and we're out and we're partying and we're having the time of our life. And around maybe 11 p.m., our host brother, Dirk, says to me and Chris, hey man, I gotta go. I got a big day tomorrow. The Prince of Holland is like gonna be there, and I've got something I've got to do with him. I think we got to go. And me and Chris did not want to leave. We're having the time of our life. And so he's like, okay, here's what you do. You get on this bus, you take it to this bus stop, and then you go this way. And me and Chris are like, great. We'll see you later. Back to the party, having the time of our life. Hour, 2 hours, who knows how many hours goes by. It's probably 1:30, 2 in the morning, and we stumble out of the bar. And Chris in particular he's like throwing up in the alleyway. He's completely wasted. I drag him to the bus. We get on the bus. We take it to the stop that we think we're supposed to take it. We stumble off the bus. It's maybe 2:45 now. And we are walking in this suburb in the middle of Holland. And we realize that we have absolutely no idea where we are. And now, when I say we don't have any idea where we are, we don't have any cell phone. We don't know our host brother's address. We don't know his phone number. We don't know his last name. He's just dear. He's the guy we're staying with. And we're not prepared for the world, right? We've never been taught how to do these sorts of things. We start to get, we're starting to panic a little bit. We're starting to get mad at each other. We're in like a neighborhood. It's just like a neighborhood. It's dark. There's nobody out. It's the middle of the night on a Wednesday in Holland in the year 2000. And so we stumble kind of to this like sort of main road. And by main road, I mean it's like a suburb on one side of the road and the other side of the road is like a big field. But it's got lines in the middle of it and it looks like it's busy at some part of the day. I say, I'm going to stop the next car that comes our way. And Chris is like, whatever at this point. He's kind of zombied out. And I see headlights in the distance and I straddle the lines in the middle of the street. And I'm standing in the middle of the street with my hands up like this. And up pulls a black Volkswagen Rabbit. It stops and I walk to the front door and inside is a female police officer. And so I'm like, oh my God, thank God. And she is like, what is going on? She's looking at us. By the way, we're huge for Europe. We're in these like suits that don't fit us. We're clearly like disheveled and we're standing in the middle of the road in the middle of the night. So she cracks her window like this much and is like, I'm like, English? And she's like, yes, I speak English. And I was like, do you know about the conference in The Hague, the big conference? She said, yes. I said, we're students. We're here for the conference. We're staying in Leiden, which is the name of the town we're staying in. And we're very lost. And she said, do you have your passports? Which we did. So we slip our passports in the window and she closed her window. She gets on a radio. I don't know who she called, but whatever she did was good enough for her. And she says, get in. And so we get in the car, leave our troubles at bay. And she's like, well, where are you going? I was like, we don't know. She's like, you don't know anything about where he lived? And I said, when we were going to the bus stop on our bicycles, he was like, hey, that's the old zoo. And she's like, the old zoo? I know the old zoo. And we were like, the old zoo. And she was like, the old zoo. Sure enough, we were like 20-minute car ride away. But as soon as we got close to the old zoo, we knew exactly where we were. And she got us home. It was like 3:34 in the morning. We had to wake up like an hour and a half later and get to the thing. But we had a great story and we were no worse for the wear. And so when I started thinking about that story, lost on a dark street, the outskirts of town, I stumble around, I am flirting with disaster, 3 sheets to the wind that's blowing harder than hell. And then our eyes meet. Is that your car slowing down? Could I be found? I suddenly see what I'm after. You've taken me and you got me under your spell. And then the chorus was, I don't know where I am. I don't know where I'm going to. But if you give me a ride, can you take me to the zoo? And so that was how I thought of the song. And then from there I was like, okay. Now John doesn't want to sing about me and my friend. And really, I don't know what else to write at that point. But what if this is some drunk guy, he's getting picked up by some mysterious hitchhiker, but now there's this like kind of like love romance angle to it, but she's probably nefarious. And then that gave me that gave me the ammo I needed to kind of get through the rest of the song. Although, get in the backseat, leave your troubles at bay, feel them melt away as we drive a little faster. So my story is infused in the song, but then I changed it so that we could get through the song and have a song. And that was ultimately how we got to Under Your Spell.
So at this point, Joey has a loop and he's got a story to tell. But by necessity, he has to put everything on the back burner so that he and the band can focus on their 2024 New Year's run. But after the band had finished the final set of the run early in the morning of January 1st, Joey and John's mind were already starting to think ahead to what was next. And backstage, there was excited talk about getting into the studio on the 2nd and getting started on a legitimate demo of Under Your Spell. So that's where things stood as I arrived at John's house shortly after noon on January 2nd. When I got there, I found John and Joey engaged in a non-musical project. They were actually moving furniture from one bedroom of John's house to another in preparation for the arrival of John and Lisa's baby this spring. And so after we spent a little bit of time moving some books and furniture, we headed downstairs to the studio. First things first, John had to get his computer situation sorted out. And so while John was tinkering with his hardware and his software and his plugins, Joey started playing John the loop and explaining to him his vision for the song.
Look at this, we made it. We're in. Tell me this works. Let's try it.
What do you think?
Not bad. Not bad. All right.
So the idea behind the song is there's a guy and he's drunk and he's lost.
Ooh.
And he doesn't have a phone or anything. He's kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
And then he sees a car.
Okay.
And this woman's driving the car and she pulls up and basically he's like overcome with this one, he's being saved, but he really is into this woman. So she invites him into his car.
Nice.
But really she's probably going to kill him. She's got nefarious intentions, but he doesn't know that. And we don't necessarily say that in the song at the moment.
Wow.
Because why would she pick up some drunk guy in the middle of nowhere? She wouldn't.
Right, because he could kill her, and that's
exactly
what most women are thinking. You can't pick up a drunk guy.
And I thought maybe she's got some sort of scent in the car that overpowers him, or she drugs him somehow and he doesn't know it. Not bad, right? As an idea to work off of.
It's like a more like an HBO direct to HBO movie than it is like a song.
That's right.
At this point, John does something curious. He starts Googling for anime images, and he brings up on his screen a very innocent looking anime style photo of a girl in a blue dress with blue stars and shapes exploding around her.
This is the picture. This is the picture for this song. Nefarious intentions. I have nefarious intentions.
Nefarious.
Most people, when they show up to a writing session, they're like, I have this song, it's about love. You're like, well, there's this guy, he's drunk, he's on the side of the road, he's probably going to get hit by a car, but if he doesn't get hit by a car, the person who's picking him up is going to do something bad to him. I'm not sure what, and that's what the song's about.
I'm not exactly what you'd call a romantic.
I don't know.
I mean, you don't want to sing love songs that I wrote. You want to, like, it's more fun if we do something that's a little more universal.
Postcard was a love song, and people seem to like it.
Yeah, but it was a love song from the perspective of a dictator.
That's fine. That's fine.
I mean, we've written a lot of love songs.
Shocked.
Photograph is a love song in a way.
Photograph is a raunchy sex song.
Yeah.
It's not love song. That's not a serious relationship in Photograph.
Postcard. Doorbell's a little bit of a love song.
Doorbell is a little bit
It's more of a
song.
raunchy sex song.
Doorbell's definitely a raunchy sex song. There's no question. There's 0 questions available.
I mean, there's love in this song.
There we
But
go.
the lover is going to get murdered.
The lover is going to get murdered.
The first thing that needed to happen before the guys could get started in earnest was for John to find the multi-track recording of the September 7th, 2024 Mishawaka Amphitheater performance.
All right, so which jam do you want to start with?
The Midnight one. Do you need a date? The date is 9/7/24. It's set 1. It's in the first track. It's going to be around 13 minutes in.
Okay. I mean, the question is, do I want to do that, or do we want to just like techno orchestra it?
Well, I think we definitely want I love the drum. The E drums that Alan is playing is really good. We might need a techno orchestra too, because we might need to build a little something extra, because it's a little bit, there's not like really obvious parts of it, you know, unless you just want to rebuild the whole thing in the techno orchestra.
I love this part. This is great.
And this is show of the year.
Is it? And what show is it?
Mishawaka.
This one show of the year?
Turns out John is having trouble locating the hard drive with the multi-tracks of the Mish show.
Rich says he thinks it's in the warehouse. Waldor can grab it tomorrow if it is.
No, we're just gonna make it.
Well, no, but we'll still want it eventually.
What John is saying is he's just going to rebuild the track using the techno orchestra.
Down, I fumble around, I am flirting with disaster. Three sheets to the wind.
Is it Midnight 1? Is show of the year. That's what won. Great, we're gonna release it. I'm gonna have I just told Kaplan to release it. Sounds great.
And this is truly the most fun part about this job. And that is that I get to share with John and with Mark and Aaron and Alan some of the most exciting moments that they played but didn't experience as listeners. And right now I'm walking John through a slideshow presentation of the fan vote for the show, jam, and song of the year for 2024.
This is sick. This is awesome. This is song 2. It's literally like I just heard 4 great songs go one into the other into the other. This is a DJ mix, this set.
This is Hot Air Balloon.
Yeah, it's not even nowhere near hot.
I know.
Yeah, it's yeah.
We've got John suitably excited about the track now, but before he and Joey can get started, we're interrupted by the timer on Joey's phone.
Oh, we gotta do push-ups.
Is now the time?
Yep.
Before the session started, we set the intention that every hour we'd stop what we were doing and move our bodies, get some exercise.
2025, when we're in the studio, every 60 minutes, we do an exercise. And that's our New Year's resolution.
It's not a resolution. It was like the dumb idea of
Yeah, it was the idea of the day. But if we write as many songs as we wrote in 2024, and we do exercises every 60 minutes while we're writing those songs,
we'll be strong.
we're gonna be strong.
Yeah, a little bonus. Little bonus.
Songs and abs.
Are you ready?
Yep. 1.
So now it's time
3,
for us to do push-ups.
4, 5, 18, 19, 20. All right.
Ow.
All right.
Damn.
20 burpees.
No. Let's start.
Start slow.
Dude.
It's good.
Just pick a different exercise every hour. You do the same one every
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, we don't want to go too crazy. That was easy, though. 20 push-ups, dude. Bang. Bam.
Get a little pump in there.
Just get a little pump in there. No big deal.
This is our new thing, our new studio thing. Every hour.
Let's change it up. Let's change it up.
Yeah, we'll do an exercise, different exercise.
Do an exercise.
This is Bisco in 2025.
It literally only took like a minute.
After our brief exercise interlude, it's time to get back to work.
Okay.
But before too long, we're joined by the third member of this session.
What's up, dude?
Yeah.
What up, dude?
Dude, I just listened to like even more stuff from last week, and it's fucking great.
Aaron Magner has entered the building.
Last week, like Silver Spring?
Spot check something. I went to Silver Springs like to spot check Boom. I remember night 1, set 1. I was like, holy shit, set 1 of night 1 is never like that. And I actually like that set better than like I think all 4.
Wow.
And I wanted to listen to Boom specifically for the computer, right? Like now we're at a stage where it's like, you know, we've done it enough times, we've ascertained what it is, we've listened to enough recordings, and now it's like, okay, let's get like a little bit molecular with it. I'm gonna move that onto its own channel, right? Because there's so much information in there. And just doing that alone cleared up so much for me, like going back and listening to it, you know?
Aaron is super hyped from the previous week's New Year's run shows. And as he settles in, John and Joey share with him the track that they've been working on.
No.
In the process, they stumble upon a rhythmic similarity between the track and a recent New Biscuits song.
It has a little bit of that to it. On a dog street. That has definitely crossed my mind.
Has it?
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right, let's sing the new lyrics. On a dog street, the outsides of town, I bumble around, I am flirting with disaster.
At this point, Joey is still teaching John the phrasing and the cadence.
The outskirts of town, I bumble around, I am flirting with disaster. 3 sheets in the wind and blowing harder than hell.
But clearly, John is a quick study.
And then our eyes meet. My hand low is down. Could I be found? I suddenly see what I'm after. I needed a win. You got me under your spell. Ringing your bell, right? Alright. I'm dropped at your feet. Can you take me away? Could be a good day. We could write another chapter. You ask where I've been. Say I'm not looking that well. Listen to this melody. Get in the backseat and leave your troubles at bay. They will melt away as we drive a little faster. You've taken me in, you got me under your spell. Alright, chorus. I'm not sure where I am. I'm not sure what you're gonna do. But if you're taking a ride, I'm riding with you. I'm not sure where it ends. I'm not sure where we're going to. But if you're taking a ride, I'm riding with you.
Is that just great?
Is that the chorus?
Yeah, nobody.
Chorus.
Chorus?
you. Heartbeat, too fast to believe. Don't mind the speed, eternity I'm chasing after.
This is going somewhere else, right?
And now I'm buying this spell. Yeah, it's basically just a loop at this point. Yeah, I listened to this for like 4 days straight and never got bored of it. Never got tired of it.
What's that? We can go to this section. Anything else happen?
I mean, there's cool parts of this jam that sound a little like there's a cool guitar solo, but that's like, I think what we do is we build a techno orchestra and we build another section. We need to build another section.
All right, sweet.
It's a slow process. We're essentially watching John as he creates the loop in Ableton. And that downtime creates lots of opportunities for goofing around and being creative.
But just look at that boom, I'm killing your brain like a poisonous mushroom deadly. When I play dope metally, anything less than the best is a felony. Love it, believe it, you better get away. Better hit the bulls that the kid won't play. If you got a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it.
You gotta change the lyrics. That's fucking great.
Did we ever mention that Joey raps?
Should I keep going? 1, 2. And now that the party is jumping, with the bass kicked in, the Vegas are pumping, quick to the point, no faking, cooking MCs like a pound of bacon, turn 'em, being quick and nimble. I grab the mic when I hear a cymbal and a hi-hat, and a souped-up tempo. I'm on a roll, time to go solo rolling.
And before long, it's time for another exercise break.
All right, it's time. Jump squats.
I don't want to do jump squats. Let's just do squat, normal squats.
All right,
I mean, you can do jump squats, any kind of squat you want.
all right,
20?
yep.
Yeah. Good. 20 squats.
All right, tell me when everybody's ready.
In sync. In sync,
All right.
Count them off, coach.
3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Songwriting collaborator, coach, MC, personal trainer. Is there anything this guy doesn't do?
11, 19, 20. All right.
Damn, I'm good at this shit now.
After we wrapped up our workout break, I asked Joey to bring us up to speed on where he and John are in their process.
Basically, we're working with the jam, the hot air balloon jam from the Miss Night 1. We are basically taking the parts of the jam that we want to write over and organizing them in Ableton. And then we're going to use the technical, basically we have 2 ways of making songs from jams. One way is we just take the jam and basically sing over it. The other is we take the jam and then we kind of rebuild it using the techno orchestra. It gives it a little bit of a different flavor, some different sounds, allows us to take it in different places than the original jam. So that's kind of what we're doing now. We have a bunch of lyrics. We'll probably start singing pretty soon. And right now, John's just getting it organized in the computer.
When John's got the track in a satisfactory place, it's time to set up the mic to cut a scratch vocal track.
Sounds great, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck are we gonna do?
Hey, yeah.
As that's taking place, I pull Magner aside and ask him about his role in the process.
I think I've learned to kind of like surf the process where you kind of have to let things percolate at their appropriate time, right? And there's also kind of like a little bit of a group think, and everybody kind of has their time to kind of sculpt, right? And this is a very infantile stage of the brainstorm of the song. Right now in this example, we're trying to get out of Joey's head and put into demo kind of, so that now we understand what type of clay we're working with, and then we could kind of sculpt it from there. So I'm not getting ahead of myself is basically the short answer to that. And eventually I will deliberately open up that portion of my brain where I kind of like allow myself to start hearing other things, but not yet.
Joey, you want to get on the mic for a second?
Yeah.
Let me get a sound.
All right, I'm gonna come in. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. On a dark
With the vocal mics all set up, John gets out of the producer's chair, Aaron gets into it, and John steps into the booth. And by the booth, I just mean he steps 3 feet down in the basement to a mic with a semicircular foam enclosure around it.
The outskirts of town, I stumble around, I am flirting with disaster. 3 sheets of the wind blowing harder than hell. Then our eyes meet. Is that your car slowing down? Could I be found suddenly? I see what I'm after. You taking me in, you got me under your spell. Can I move the eye here?
Yep.
It's truly a collaborative process, word by word. As John familiarizes himself with the lyrics, he also gets a sense for how the words feel and sound coming out of his mouth. And he and Joey go back and forth on some of the phrasing, the positions of the emphasis, the syllables, and the word choices.
And I suddenly see what I'm after.
Yeah, I think I suddenly see.
Yeah, just loop it. Let me sing it a couple times.
You switch the I. I'm not sure that works for the rhythm.
I know.
Could I be found? I suddenly see what I'm after.
Your car slowing down. Could I be found? I suddenly see what I'm after. That worked. All right. Suddenly see what I'm after.
Every phrase, every word, every syllable for that matter has to be figured out. Nothing is left to chance. Everything is intentional and thought through.
On a dark street, the outskirts of town, I stumble around, I'm flirting with disaster.
On a dark street, the outskirts of town. I give it a little more bounce.
On a dark street, the outskirts of town, I stumble around. Yeah, let me take it again.
And stumble should be a little quicker.
Right.
In between monitoring the takes and running the board, Magner offers his own feedback as well.
Is that it right there? Is that really it?
Do we have one that's hotter than hell?
Yeah, I like that. How Magner just saying, hotter than hell.
One, I'm not sure whether we do.
Yeah, give me one like that. Three sheets to the wind that's blowing hotter than hell. Yeah.
Hotter than hell.
6, 7, 8.
On a dark street, the outskirts of town, I stumble around, I'm flirting with disaster. 3 sheets of the wind that's blowing harder than hell.
We gotta do our exercises.
No. There's a rule.
If we're cutting vocals, we do it after the vocals.
You don't have to do them at all.
Oh, okay.
You want to be out of breath.
January 2nd, and our 2025 fitness resolution has officially bit the dust.
It's a nice bonus. Cutting vocals
It gets you on the mic.
Gets you on the mic, dude. Push up to the mic, dog. Take your choice.
Drop that
All right,
your
let's cut
feet.
it. Drop that your feet. All right.
Just keep it.
Dropped at your feet. I want you to feel the bounce in it, right? I'm dropped at your feet. Like none of the words are like. It's not like hard. You kind of like. It's kind of like easing into them, right? It's very bouncy and flowy. So it's almost like every line almost like kind of like runs in.
Up in the backseat.
How did you just sing it? Sing it that way again. The one I really liked.
No. Hop in the backseat
and leave your troubles at bay. They will melt.
Leave your troubles at bay.
They will melt.
Hop in the backseat. Leave your troubles at bay. Where do you sing that?
Hop in the backseat and leave your troubles at bay. They will melt away as we drive a little faster. I got you under my skin, you got me under your spell. So like every line kind of melts into the next line, and it's super flowy. None of the first words are hard first words. It's like, it's almost like you're on fucking lean. You know, it's like that like southern rap.
That'd be so sweet.
believe it or not, but we've been in the studio at this point for 6 or 7 hours, and it's actually time for me to leave as I've got a flight back to Los Angeles the next morning. So when I depart, John, Joey, and Aaron are still in the process of working through the lyrics to Under Your Spell, line by line, word by word, working on that phrasing with the goal of ultimately getting to the point where John feels comfortable singing the words and Joey feels like he's adequately communicated to John the intention behind them. By the time I land in LAX in the evening of January 5th, there's a file waiting for me in my messages. Now, this isn't the end of the process, but with the Bubble Tour getting underway shortly, a lot of the work on Under Your Spell is going to have to take place on the road. So fast forward to January 17th, the band's in Portland, Oregon at Revolution Hall. John, Aaron, and Joey are working through Under Your Spell with Mark and Alan in the backstage practice room.
All right, the build. The build. That was take one, dude.
The band would ultimately debut Under Your Spell the next night, January 18th, 2025, at Revolution Hall in Portland, Oregon. And Will Johnston, the fan who originally submitted that jam to Joey for his consideration, was in attendance that evening.
I knew that it was coming, but still like wasn't sure. I think when you're excited about something and, you know, other people are like, oh, this is going to happen. You're like, you don't believe it until it happens. So then they kind of dropped into it. And I remember, like, I think a key component of that jam is Alan's drum fill, that little do 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 ch. But I started hearing Alan's drum fill and I knew it was coming. And a mutual friend of ours, you know, she heard it too. And when she heard it, she pointed up and I was just like, knew it was coming. And, you know, just enjoyed it. I think they turned it into something that's just incredibly like fun. It kind of, in a way, reminds me of Another Spin. Just kind of a fun, like upbeat song with like a lot of potential. Like jamming into Under Your Spell, I think is going to create a lot of really great opportunities. And I'm just excited to see them take it for a ride.
The band would go on to play Under Your Spell 5 more times over the course of the Bubble Tour. During the little break that took place between the West Coast and East Coast legs, I sat down with Barber to discuss that first part of the tour. And, of course, we spoke about Under Your Spell. During that interview, I asked Barber about a conversation we had had backstage in Santa Ana. What follows is an excerpt from Touchdowns All Day, episode 88. Speaking of new songs, Under Your Spell got 5 workouts and lots of fun placements for that one. You mentioned to me backstage one night that you felt like it was still one piece away from being where you wanted it to be. And I wanted to know, what's it going to take for you to get that song over the hump?
Add the one part that I want to add. I know exactly how it goes. I just have to play it a couple of times somehow, either alone or you know, with the band or both. And you know, it's in my mind, that's a fun song that's got this opportunity to be like a great jam vehicle. It's the right tempo. It's got a good, like, hoppy, like skippy in it, like the house skip. And the chorus is great. And so there's a lot of energy in that chorus. So the question is, you know, what to do with that. And I really want to have that energy from the chorus launch into a jam that goes into more energy. And I know how to do that now. I just haven't, you know, I got to sit down and just take care of business and do that. But, you know, that's my life, is the million different musical things that I have to do every day. It's crazy.
A few weeks later, on a day off during the East Coast leg of the Bubble Tour, John, Joey, and the rest of the band would spend some time in the studio trying to work out the arrangement of Under Your Spell. We've seen this with some of the other collaborative compositions that Joey and John have created, where verses might need to be relocated or choruses or refrains are dropped. The same thing happened here. And so it was during this session on March 2nd and 3rd that Under Your Spell began to assume something resembling a final form.
You write the song, you make the demo, then you play it the first time. And it doesn't matter if the first time is like to be continued level of first time, or freeze level of first time, which they're obviously very opposite levels of first time plays. That first time is never going to be the song, right? Because it still needs to become a Biscuit song on stage, right? And so many things happen, right? Like they'll play it a couple different times and they'll be like, oh, that's the right bass line, or this is the right thing, right? Under Your Spell for me, I think what John also, like, it was not hitting me like I wanted it to hit me those first couple times they played it. I thought one of the first, versions was pretty good. And then I thought it took a step back. And my opinion was everything was just way too condensed. There was too many words on top of each other. There were too many under your spells. There was under spells in the break. There was under spells in the chorus. There was no space in the song for like the energy to like, you know, to flow, right? It was just a lot of lyrics, and there was a jam and there was a chorus. And I think John also kind of had some ideas, as he mentioned, about wanting to do a guitar solo. I knew we were going into the studio. And we were going to record it. And so that was the perfect time to work out the song. So when we went to Spirit House in Massachusetts, after the Huntington shows in Long Island, you know, we talked about Under a Spell. Well, first it was the form, right? How do we want to do the form? And the decision was made. You do verse, break, no under your spells, second verse, build, chorus, and then that's the jam, right? And then John had some ideas about the changes that he wanted to bring in over those solos. So we worked that out. We tried a couple different things, and then we got to that spot. And then we had the big build, and then you drop into the third verse. So I knew once I heard that the song, the next time that the song was going to be played, was going to be hands down the best version that they had played. So I knew that at Wilmington, that version was going to be the best Under Your Spell, because the song we had found it in the studio.
P.S. Here's a little sneak peek of the sessions for the studio Under Your Spell.
You got me under your spell. You got me under your spell. I'm not sure where I am.
And so I know people get upset when the band plays the same song over and over again, but you don't get to that spot without doing that. Now, you know, maybe other bands who write a song and then they show up and they play it exactly how they wrote it, and they do that every time for the next 50 years. But that's not the Biscuits way. You know, we write a song and then it comes to life on stage. And then once it comes to life on stage, you have to harness the pieces, right? Because it might not all come to life at one time, right? Like maybe one version has this really good solo that becomes a solo, or one version has a really good bass line, or Magner's doing something really cool, or there's a drum thing, but they don't actually all happen in the same version, right? They could happen in 4 versions with every band member, and then the 5th version is where you take that piece from all of them. So it really is a process, and that's why these songs grow, and that's why we sometimes have to, you know, work through a couple versions. I mean, Freeze really didn't start to hit its ground. I mean, it was debuted in June, and I think it might have been August. You know, maybe at the Above Cave Ground show where that came around. But some songs hit right away. So it really just depends.
By the time the band took the stage on March 13th, 2025 at the Queen in Wilmington, Delaware, Under Your Spell had a new compact arrangement and a new cap to the jam. to Aaron Magner about that new segment on Touchdowns All Day, episode 93.
It did slay, and it felt good, man, you know, and that's the reason that, like, we do this day in and day out, for the song's purpose and perspective, right? It's so that these songs can grow and mature and evolve and eventually, like, reach some potential where you're like, yep, you've arrived. Welcome to the catalog under your spell, you know? Welcome to the family. You're going to be welcome here, you know, for a long time.
I couldn't have put it any better myself. Under Your Spell is in that new song category where it's going to get a lot of plays. It's going to show up in a lot of different positions, first sets, second sets. It's going to have short versions. It's going to have long versions. It's going to be played as an opener. It's going to be played as an encore. The one thing that we can say for certain is, as Aaron pointed out, this song is going to evolve. And the evolution of Under Your Spell from an excerpt of a jam that a fan fell in love with last fall to an earworm that had Joey up all night writing through the holiday season to that skeleton of an idea that John, Joey, and Aaron worked out in the studio, all the way through to the versions we heard during the Bubble tour. We're in the middle of that evolution. And the beauty of the Disco Biscuits is that they let us in on that creative process. They let us witness it in real time. And more than that, they invite us to be collaborators. So if you're sitting on a favorite jam, be it from a recent tour or from the band's 30-year history, that you think would make a perfect jamception tune, you should let us know. Reach out, 424-666-SIYD, at Touchdowns All Day on Instagram, or at TDADbaby on X. I'll pass all your suggestions on to Joey, and who knows, maybe one day in the future I'll be interviewing you when the band turns the loop or the track or the jam that you love into their next song. With all that said, I'm going to let Will Johnston have the final word.
To have contributed in this way to the Biscuits, you know, a band I've been listening to for almost 15 years, it's amazing. I mean, it's been great to see them like evolve into what they've become these past few years, and you know, just as a listener, being able to like send that to Joey and then just have it turn into something. I think you mentioned that it was like the fastest turnaround for a song. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And to see Barber tweet about it and say that, you know, he wrote a sick song out of it, it just all feels really good.
And that's where we'll leave it. Touchdowns All Day is an Osiris Media production. Check us out on the web at www.touchdownsallday.com. This episode was written, produced, and edited by me, Max Dawson, and was mixed and mastered by Matt Dwyer at Osiris Media. Touchdowns All Day would not be possible without the contributions of many women and men, including the Disco Biscuits road crew, Ben, Pat, Nick, Brian, Rich, Dane, Amin, Herm, and Tara. The band itself, Mark, John, Aaron, and Alan. The management, Ben Brook and Andrew Kaplan at 1111. The Touchdowns All Day Advisory Committee, Andy Bazzani, Mike Walsh, Dave Cook, Scott McClintock, John Goldberg, John Politis, Colleen Stern, and Ryan Rayonix. Our our coaches, Joey Friedman and Steve Martocci. And of course, extra special thanks to my partner, Avery McMahon. I love you, babe. On behalf of John Barber and the entire Touchdowns All Day family, this is Max Dawson saying see you next time.
We must communicate. We must communicate. We must communicate.
Osiris.